Hello, my name's Paul, and I'm with Logix Magazine, and today I'm going to share with you my system to get endless job offers in the technology and engineering career fields. To start out, I'm really excited to be here today and to share this with you. I've never shared it out in public like this, only in private training sessions. So I'm really excited to be able to give you something today that I believe is the perfect way to search for a job in today's world. So let's dig right into it. But kind of we have to go back to the beginning of let's go back to the pioneer days. So somebody needed some help. They asked their friends to spread the word. Somebody heard about it. They showed up. They shook hands, and that's how you got a job. And then we moved to a little more advanced. You would show up. They would say, hey, why don't you tell me where you work? They fill out this little application, right? Tell me a little bit more about you, what you have done. Now we have an application. We filled out those applications. We run around town filling out different applications for different companies. Then we progressed to the resume, a little more formal, professional. I remember a time when the only high-level executives type used resumes and all the rest of us used applications. Now it seems that there's a much larger percentage of people using resumes this day and filling out applications only after a job offer's been made, right? So now, then we're now in this world where it's rumored to be that 80% of all available jobs aren't even published. They're filled behind the scenes. Nobody knows about them. They're filled by people who know people through a network, right? So if you came here and the only secret you walked away from is that 80% of the people, rough statistic, but 80% of the job offers that are out there are through networking. You could walk away and just use your network, your black book, your contacts to look for a job, as opposed to going online and filling out endless online applications. Your time would be well spent having just made that change in your job search. Just making that change by itself. Without going any further in this video, you will have walked away and have received true value. That's a fact, right? Now, obviously, I want to dig deeper into this with you, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to get into it. We'll share my simple system. So, what do you need? What do you need to get that job offer? So, and this is our triangle. We're going to go back to this in my videos over and over and over, right? Because I need to have this driven in your mind that what you need to start with is a good skill set, right? It doesn't matter what it is. You could be a project manager. It could be an engineer. Could be a designer, it could be somebody in the mechatronics field, you can have an integrator, whatever it is, you need to have a strong skill set. That should go without saying. Okay, if you do not have a strong skill set, you will not be in a solid position to compete. And this goes for beginners as well. You need to have a good skill set. And there's a whole process to becoming one of the most skilled professionals in the room, even if you're a beginner. There's a whole process. We'll do another video on that. What else do you need? What is the next objective here? The next thing we need, and this I'm a big believer in it. You need a portfolio. You need to be able to have, especially as a beginner, have to have a way to showcase what you know, what you can do. You really do, and this is going to be the crux of this. Right here is going to be the crux of our plan here. This is going to be the center of our plan. The next, and we'll move on throughout this video. The next item you absolutely have to have is you have to have a network. These two alone aren't going to get you an opportunity. Okay, there's a whole lot more that goes on here. There's a whole lot here in the portfolio and the network, but it's by having all three of them and working them cohesively in a system as how you can get endless job offers in technology and engineering even as a beginner. It's how you can do a midlife career change and jump into the career, make a career jump into tech by using these 3 elements as the core of your job search, right? What we're going to focus on today is the network. Very important. The network is what we're going to focus on. And that's going to be right here. This is what we're going to focus on. This is our new diagram for today. It's a fantastic example. So what do we need? What is at the center of our search? Right here. It's our portfolio. Right? This is the center of our strategy, our system to grow our network. Okay? So each piece, the skill set, the portfolio, and the network, so the center of the portfolio is the skill set. The center of the network is the portfolio. All right? So just that we're clear. So now, what do we have here, right? We have our portfolio. Now, I'm just going to share with you, this is 4, we need about a couple more of these balls here. So see if we can't copy this and paste it. Boom. And paste it, and bam. All right. So now, what do we have? Okay. Let's even this out a little bit so it makes it a little easier. Okay. So we're just I'm just giving you a brief synopsis of this system. All right. But it will be enough for you to be able to walk away and implement this strategy. I guarantee it. You'll be able to do it. The one thing I can't, what makes this is really simple to do, but again, I have to reiterate, what makes this hard is that you have to do it by yourself. That's where the hard part comes in. Now, obviously, I have a coaching program. I can help you with this and walk you through this. We have templates and swipe files and resources and all kinds of stuff. But you can take this info and you can begin to implement it yourself. And I'm going to share it with you, and you're gonna really like it. I think you'll love it. All right. So what do we start with, right? How do we get people to find? So what we're going to do is let me back up a little. What we're going to do is we need to tell people where to go look at our portfolio, because we don't want to brag about ourselves. We don't want to tell people about it. We can't do the justice that a good portfolio could do. So what we have to do is we have to tell people, and we're going to talk about exactly how to do that in a really great way. You'll love it. It's fantastic. If they want to learn more about us, okay, this is where they're going to learn it, right? So how do we do that? We advertise, we put it on our resume that this is, if you go here on this web page, and we'll talk about that here in a minute, you're going to be able to have access to my portfolio, which will show a ton of projects that I've done, okay? That's what a portfolio is doing. That's where we're going to store all of our projects that we're working on. Even if you're new, you're working on something, and if you've done due diligence, then it's going to be something that an employer could look at and say, hey, now I know what he or she knows, and that's very helpful in making a hiring decision. Okay, so very important. We're going to put it on a resume. That there's a website that they can go to, which would possibly be a Facebook page, a YouTube channel, where they can see and read more about the projects that you're working on. They can download examples of your work, etc., PDF copies of what you've been doing, for example, or watch a video of you doing some of that work. So we put that right up there at the top of our resume to describe where they can go find and take a look at your portfolio. Very important, right? All right. We can put it on Facebook. Okay. What we want to do is make sure we separate our personal from our career or our professional. So I like putting together a Facebook page to do that. It's very easy. Just go on the Facebook, set up a page, and then start uploading some of the examples of the work that you've been doing. Very simple. It's very simple. Very simple to do. Easy, fast, easy way to demonstrate what you know, what your value is. And it's very easy for an employer, which is likely going to search through your social media profile before making a job offer. In these days, and it's very easy for them to then go bam and check out your online portfolio. Makes sense, right? All right. So we might have a blog. We could put it on a blog, and that could be where our portfolio is. That's where we could direct them to. From that blog, we could post that on a blog, right? The portfolio on the blog, right? Very simple, very easy spot. If you don't know about blogging, then don't worry about it. You have a lot of other options here, right? When job searching these days, you're going to have to use email. And if you're getting into technology and engineering, you need to be a master at email and scheduling and these days remote video and all kinds of new technologies. So put it at the bottom of your signature for your email that you have a portfolio, right? Perfect, right? I mentioned it earlier. YouTube. YouTube's also a great place to set up a video portfolio, right? So they go online. Tell them just go online, set and find your name and your YouTube page. Boom, you can put that on your resume, etc. And you can use. I know a guy who uses business cards. When he hands out, meets people, talks to them, hands them a business card that has the address for his portfolio. So all of these things. Now, mind you, there's some interlacing here. Facebook could be where you put your portfolio, right? YouTube could be where you put your portfolio. Blog could be where you put your portfolio. Each of these three could point towards your portfolio. It just depends on how you want to set it up. But all of these, as an example, because every person's different and their network here is going to be a little bit different for every person. But this is a very good example of what you could set up that all point towards your portfolio. And you notice there's a lot of interlacing going on here. And that's okay. That's what we want. We want people to be able to find you and learn about you, see you, meet you, see what you're doing, what you got going on, what projects, etc. And that's the point that we want to do. We want to make it easy for them to get to know, like, and trust you, right? So we're trying to share with people what projects and what skill level, what skill sets that we have, and showcase them, those skill sets to prospective employers. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I mean, it does for me. So what is this here is great. You built it, but it's not dynamic. All this is static. If we don't get a way to get people to our portfolio, then it's dead on arrival. So if you don't have one, what do you need to do? You need to build one, right? Then we need to share it, and that's what we're going to talk about in a minute. Those two things, we need to build it and share it. That's it, right? That's the two tasks. We build it, which is right here. This is all static. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't talk, doesn't move. You know, what's the strategy to get people to pick up to take a business card? What's the strategy to get people to take a look at your resume? What's the strategy to send people to your Facebook? What's the strategy to send them to your blog? How do you get them to email you? How do you get them to look at your YouTube? How do you get them to be dynamic, to interact with you? That is very important. How do you get them to look at this? That's what we're going to talk about. Now, I'm going to give you the best strategy there are. There are many of them, but this is the best one. And it's the secret. The secret sauce is you invite them. Okay, a lot of people make the mistake when trying to promote themselves that they try to promote themselves. The idea here is not to promote yourself. The idea is to invite. Remember, in a network, and we want to grow a network, and that's how we're going to get our endless job offers. We need to grow that, and we can't force people to be be part of our network. We can't force people to share their emails to communicate with us, to take a look at our stuff. But we can most certainly invite as many people as we want to do that. Now, we can run around, hand out business cards and telling people about our portfolios, send them to our blog, YouTube. And that's that. You could do that. Okay. I don't recommend it, but you could do that. Remember, we are trying to build a professional network, and we're going to be dealing with people who may be at the top of the industry, the highest level professionals in the programming, design, technology, engineering field, right? And these people they have a very limited amount of time, and you can invite them, and they'll say, well, okay, well, if I get time, right? If I get time, they'll take a look at it, right? All right. Well, I'm going to give you the secret to the invite. The invite is, so again, we don't want to just run around inviting people endlessly. But there's some couple of strategies that you could use that are really helpful. Let me get a drink of water here. That are really successful that we use. I teach my clients to use because they really work. So there's two things that I do. I ask them to do. I said, look, one of the great ways to get people to connect with you is to just ask a question. Shoot them a question, right? You can ask anybody a question. Now, really busy professionals may not be able to answer them. But you know what? A lot of people will. A lot of people will take a few moments of their time and answer your question. Now, if you're doing that in an email, you're doing that in person, you ask if you invite them to check out your portfolio. I'm telling you, asking a question is a great way to get to start a conversation, to get to know somebody and move forward. Whether you're picking up ladies, if you're a guy picking up ladies for a date, or you're trying to get to meet somebody, know somebody, ask a question. One of the next best strategies is have somebody take a look at your portfolio and share their opinion. We're talking about connecting with professionals, high-level professionals. There's nothing wrong with getting people, decision makers, HR professionals, fellow engineers is largely what we're looking for. We're not looking to connect necessarily with HR managers or senior personnel. We're looking for our peers. Ask their opinion about your portfolio. That's a great way to connect with people. Ask them a question, ask their opinion. Two best strategies to get people to grow your network, make connections, get some feedback, get some opinion, answer questions. It's one of the two best strategies I share with my clients. Okay, so now that gets us started. We get to meet them. We get some feedback. We might be able to get them to know, like, and trust us a little bit. They know where we're at. But it doesn't give you endless job offers, does it? Right? It doesn't. That by itself doesn't. Okay, so what do you do? What do you do? What's the next step in the strategy? Oh, it's actually very, very simple. Very simple. And I love this part because what I'm going to share with you, I think, is one of the most strategic moves somebody can make in building their network and preparing themselves to receive endless job offers. It's fantastic. You're going to love it. You're going to ask. What are you going to ask, right? So now what do we got? We got, we'll come back to that. We got questions. We got opinions. We're going to ask. We're going to ask something very specific. And that's the key. Very specific. Right? And that is, am I ready to interview? When they've taken the time to look at your portfolio, you've asked them some questions. You've got their opinions about something in the industry, something of that nature, right? You're going to ask, do you think I'm ready to interview for any job opportunities, right? Because they're going to tell you if they think you're ready or not. They're going to tell you if you need to learn something don't look strong enough. They're going to tell you rather what their opinion is, right? They're going to share their thoughts, their opinions. And that's what we want. Am I ready? What do you think, man? Is my portfolio strong enough? There's enough depth and breadth to the projects that I'm working on? What would you suggest? How do you, etc. Am I ready? Right? Now, when you have that, you're going to find yourself in a very strong confidence level. Your confidence level is going to be through the roof. When they tell you, yep, I'm telling you, I think you're absolutely strong. I think you're absolutely ready, right? Absolutely ready for an interview. All right. Now, mind you, the goal here is you grow this network, and what you want to do is you want to grow this network into hundreds of professionals in the industry. And this might take time. If you get 50 or 100, that's great. And you can do this. Connect with a couple of people a day is all it really takes. And over a couple of months, you're gonna have 200-300 people easy in your network. Easy, right? Where are you gonna find these people, right? Where are you gonna find them? That's important, right? That's important. So obviously, social media, right? Forums. There are lots of forums out there that you could connect with and get to know people online and ask questions, get their opinions, have them take a glance at your portfolio if they're willing to. A lot of them might not. Or they may say they will and then they don't. But you only need a handful of them for starters, and that will grow. What I do is I get a few. If I get somebody who's got a really good reputation, I say, hey, so-and-so, has taken a look at my portfolio. They gave me their opinion. I'd like to see what you think about it before I apply for a job opportunity. That's a great and easy way to kind of leverage having had somebody well known take a look at your portfolio. Now, of course, if somebody takes a look at your portfolio, ask them if it's okay if you use their name to let them other people, because you want to have other people look at it, and if they wouldn't mind you mentioning the fact that they have looked at it. And most people don't have a problem with that. They understand what you're trying to do. Okay, this is not rocket science necessarily. You can share with them, hey, I'm trying to grow my network, trying to build my portfolio, trying to get my name out there a little bit, and this is what I'm doing. And most people don't have any problem with that. There's a lot of groups that are out there these days, in Facebook and all kinds of groups, right? So many of them I can't even, it'd take me an hour to tell you all the different groups that are out there. But what you want to do is find some of the top professionals. Look at their profiles. Look and see what they do for a living. If they actually do that profession full time, they've been a member for a number of years, they have a lot of posts. It doesn't take too long for you to find out who's the top players in the industry, in that forum, in that group, in that social media platform. Who are the top contenders, and get some of that feedback. Now, don't just go after the top people. Go after your peers, people who are in the same role that you're trying to get into, right? Get their opinions, get their feedback, ask them questions, ask them, am I ready to interview? These are where you're going to find them, right? This is where you're going to find them. They're very easy to find. These people, they're all over online. This is a great strategy here. So now, how do you get the endless job offers, right? How does it go? How do you get this endless? What you're going to do, what I recommend to my clients is that they 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 let their network know that they're job searching. I don't know how that went so bad right there. That they're job searching, right? And so the next strategy here is when you're to this point, when they say, am I ready? You've went down here to get this group. You ask this group these questions. These are ask for their opinions. Ask them if you're ready to interview. You get a number of people say, yes, you are ready. You're going to start your job search, right? Boom. Now, at this point, when you're actually out there, you're confident that your portfolio is solid. You're confident you have these people behind you. One of the things you wanted to do in these groups, when you found these people, ask their opinion and ask them if you were ready to interview. You're going to ask one final question. Okay? You ask them if you could use them as a testimonial, having reviewed your portfolio. And I mutilated that word. All right. Now, this is the most critical right here. The portfolio and this testimonial is the most critical part of this whole strategy. Okay? These testimonials, because what this does is this gives you what I call the OWE. I have never revealed this publicly. So the OWE is overwhelming evidence. Right? I thought about calling it the OAR, I believe, overwhelming amount of referrals or testimonials, but overwhelming evidence, overwhelming amount of evidence. That's where this comes from. The testimonials. Testimonials, having reviewed your portfolio. A lot of people have said, yeah, I thought it was good. It looks like good, solid work. Bob, I talked to Paul, over the last 6 months or so. Seems to be very knowledgeable, etc. How many of these do you really need? Not a lot to make a big difference, because you can point that these are people who are players and contenders in the industry. It's very easy to make a call. A company, a guy who owns an automation program, automation company in southern Indiana, where I live. Well, I live in northern Indiana, but he lives in southern Indiana. Owns a company down there. Can give great referrals on portfolio work for me. And there's just tons and tons of people from around the world, actually. They can take a look at your portfolio, give you their opinion, answer questions, let you know if you're ready to interview, and wouldn't mind saying, yep, I've looked at it, I've reviewed it, and I think it'd be solid. Here's where I think his skill set is and where his experience is or hers, and this is where they're at, and boom, I'd give you a great. Now imagine you walk into an interview and you have these overwhelming amount of evidence. You have an overwhelming amount of evidence that testifies to your skill set. You have this portfolio. You're out there publishing it. Hey, I got it on my resume, business card, YouTube, email, blog, Facebook. I have this whole network of people, hundreds of people to reach out to. Even in 30, 60, 90, 120 days, you're going to have hundreds of people that reach out to. Just reach out to a couple of them a day, 2, 3 people, 4 people a day. It's all it really takes. Social media, you find them on social media forums, groups, right? When you're ready, you're going to actually start that job search, and you're going to be putting together your overwhelming evidence that you are capable and competent to do that job, right? Now, mind you, remember now that 80% of all job opportunities are reputed to be non-published. They're not published. They're out there. People know that there are job opportunities, and they don't put them out in advertising. They don't advertise it, that those job opportunities are out there. So how are you going to find out about these job opportunities? This network that you're building, right? This network. So this network is going to make you or break you. The better the network, the better relationships you build, the more opportunities you're going to get from around the world, right? Again, we're going to ask for any known, I'll probably screw that word up, opportunities. Boom. We're going to ask. Simple as that. Why would we do this? Why would we go through all this effort? And, it's because 80% of these opportunities are going to be out there that people know about that aren't being advertised. There's a need somewhere that you can fill. 80% of the opportunities that are out there aren't advertised. Even if it's 50%, even if this data is a little wrong and it's 50%, for every job offer you see online, there will be at least one job offer that's not. Okay? Now, I'm not a big fan of filling out endless job applications online because statistically the odds are a whole lot of jobs are out there that my network knows about that's not online. If that's the case, if all the job offers online, all those 5,000, 10,000 job offers that are out there, only 20% of what's available, it'd be silly to spend all that time on that 20% on bypassing 80%. And how am I going to find hundreds, if not thousands of people? I'm going to build this network. I'm going to ask these questions. I'm going to get that feedback. I'm going to get those testimonials. I'm going to get an overwhelming amount of evidence, right? And then when that time comes, so-and-so is going to recommend me, hey, there's a job opportunity here and here. I'm going to have my overwhelming amount of evidence. I'm going to be able to steer prospective headhunters, recruiters, whomever's got that connection, or my peers, hopefully, alone, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to be ready, right? I'm going to be ready for that job opportunity. So in short, this is my system to get endless job offers. And by the way, of course, this is my opinion based on experience, but this system works. It's great. It's fantastic. It's exactly it's a system that somebody new, who's young, or somebody who wants to make a career jump into the tech and engineering field. This is exactly what you need to do because it's simple, it's effective. And why are you doing it? Because 80%, statistically, 80% of job opportunities aren't published, right? And ultimately, how do you find out about these? You basically ask if anybody knows about these job opportunities, right? Now, if they don't know, like, and trust you, they're not going to tell you. Okay, because they don't want to put their name on the line just for you to screw it up, right? Get them to know your work. Get them to talk to them. Go out and meet them. Do whatever it takes to build that relationship. And I guarantee you in 30, 60, 90, 120 days, you can create some outstanding relationships with people that's going to help you build your network. All right, so this is Paul with Logix Magazine. If you like these videos, you find them helpful, hit the bell. Become a subscriber, right? And if you feel there's some room for improvement on this, you have some opinion, have some question asked, let me know down in the down below. Just leave a question. I'll answer them. I'll try to help you. If you have any questions or you need my opinion, I'm willing to look at your portfolios. If you don't have one or you've got one and you need some feedback, I'm more than willing to help out. All right. So until next time. Stay safe and take care. Bye.